Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Risen Divine League. We are here with our last week of the regular season. We've already determined all of our playoff teams, but we're going to be fighting it out for a bit of seeding here between two of our top teams in Group A, Stalker Esports, taking on Primal Instinct Black. My name is Gordo. I'm joined today by Gopherino. We got no desk, Gopherino. It's just us here. We're casting, we're analyst desking, we're doing it all.
Well, if we have no desk, then I don't know what's holding my monitors up. There's a bit of dad humor on the desk, but that aside, yeah, it should be a pretty banger series tonight. These two teams should be neck and neck, and even though it is just for seeding, I mean, seeding can make a huge difference when it comes to playoffs, even if it is the difference between second and third seed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going to be a real exciting matchup here. These teams have been doing real well. Both are 5-1, both only dropping to the number one team in the group, LK Gaming, who are of course sitting there at 6-0, searching for the 7-0 today. So you really cannot ask for a better matchup going into today. But as we said already, we have got predetermined who our playoff teams are going to be. The results today cannot change who the four teams going in each group are. Even looking over there on the left, it looks like Exodia Exiles Red might potentially be able to make a run. Even if they were to take down LK Gaming, they would still lose out on the tiebreaker to the Riz Farmers. So we know who our 8 playoff teams are going to be. But of course, seeding still matters, and teams like Primal Instinct Black and Pride Stalker, they can fight for being second seed or potentially even first seed in their head-to-head matchup today.
Yeah, although I don't think they would get first seed because they've lost to
Oh,
LK
true,
Gaming
true.
already. So if it came to tiebreaker, LK Gaming would come out on top. Pretty sure that's how the rules work. We should be hopping into draft here in just a second, it sounds like, from Caddy. Speak of the devil. It's prediction.
All right, so we've got a 2-2 setup here. Both Gopherino and I are going for Primal Instinct Black. Slayer and Bonfire may have been defaulted to a Pride Stalker Esports prediction, and we're going to hold them to it here. I'm the only one who's thinking we only got 2 games tonight, though, Gopherino.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I feel like these two teams are pretty closely matched, even if I do still give the favor to Primal Instinct Black here for having an overall cleaner season. But I could definitely see a 2-0 if they are able to get things snowballing here. It's just the 2-1 seemed a bit more favorable to me in terms of predicting.
Yeah, for sure. So, going to be uh a real tight matchup here with some
Oh,
real stakes. Even though both of these teams have already stamped their tickets, they are going to be in that postseason one way or the other, but definitely going to be real cool to see them face off against each other. Gotten to cast both of these teams already this season. I've gotten to see Primal Instinct Black over in the Aegis Champions League as well, where they've been competing in Uncapped and actually doing pretty well for it. So seeing them here in Divine, they've been able to transition those skills over here very, very effectively, and they've barely dropped any games so far. I mean, obviously they lost that series to LKG, but other than that, they have barely dropped games throughout the whole season.
they've actually, the only games they have dropped were against LK Gaming. All their other series were 2-0, if my memory serves me well. That was definitely one of the reasons why I was favoring them going in tonight. It's like, okay, aside from against the number one team, you guys have kind of been smashing everybody in this league. So we'll see how they go against a very evenly matched foe. Because that's definitely on my mind tonight to see how well they pair against, someone on equal grounds.
For sure, for sure. So, are looking at the draft down below. We're going to be getting started here before too long. So, definitely waiting up here. This is going to be the last match we get to see of competitive really on the old patch as well. New patch hits tomorrow or Thursday, I'm pretty sure. So, going to be the last match of the Divine League to be played here on 13-13. Oh, anything you want to say goodbye to, Gopherino? It's going to get potentially nerfed away here before too long. Any Static Shiv lovers in the chat?
No, the thing I was going to say goodbye to is the first rank split.
No, true.
Mostly because I've just been having fun doing meme schemes. But either way, we'll see what the goodbyes here are from the teams as we are getting into Champion Select. Nothing too surprising on the ban board so far, aside from maybe the Ireli, but that's definitely a targeted ban here towards the side of PSC.
For sure, for sure. Now, yeah, Irelia and Nico bands coming through here from Primal Instinct. Going to be that Kindred band to lead things off for Pride Stalker Esports. See what they want to follow on up with. I do want to comment because that first rank split ended. OPGG won't show me their histories from the first split anymore. I'd have to go individually into each person's profile, and I'm gonna be honest, I can't be bothered. So, gonna be going in a little bit more blind into what the champion pools are going to be for these players here, but that's perfectly fine. It looks like jungler's getting focused here for Pride Stalker, though. They are really going to be pretty interested in trying to limit what Ruoff can go for here in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the jungle is a pretty decently powerful role. We've seen it throughout this season. In Divine, junglers can decide a lot of the early game here and take off some power picks. It also does help there are some powerful junglers right now, like that Kindred. It's been rearing their head ever since those changes to the AD carry itemization, as well as the Triforce buffs, something that's really favored them. See what the last ban here is. I know we've been seeing a lot of high priority on locking in the Kaisa first. I know we saw a lot of that in the OQs over the past weekend for NACL. We'll see what the prio is. All the big AD carries have gotten through.
Of them have, so going to be quite a few options. I mean, the Kaisa totally broke it on this patch. That's really what I'm going to be looking for. Does get through the picks and ban, or at least gets through the bans. We'll see if it gets through the picks. The Ashe, though, it's going to be the first selection for Primal Instinct. I know this has been a big pick for the side of Key Lime here, so it's going to be certainly going towards the bot lane. I would not expect Recommissioner to be taking it into support.
Yeah, this isn't season one. No Ashe mid. But I think it had a resurgence in some random season in the middle of all this. But either way, response will be the Jinx, interestingly. So we might not see the Kaisa. Of course, Kaisa mid is a thing, but typically we see that as the flex option. You lock in the Kaisa first, then say, oh, we can flex this to mid. It's like, all right, then we'll flex it to mid. Won't be the case here. You'll know it's going mid if you do see it locked in. Curious to see if we see the Melio paired with this Jinx. We've been seeing a lot of that. Turns out when you have the rockets at base like 700 auto attack range, pair that with the Cozy Campfire, just giving you a bunch of extra auto attack range. Makes for very obnoxious just team fights here, but it's gonna be the Viego instead.
Definitely. So the Viego is going to be the lock in here. This has been what Roth's been spamming a whole bunch of in solo queue. I can tell you that much. Been his primary champion for at least the last couple of days. Now going to be locking it in here for Pride Stalker. Now the Wukong getting hovered, going to get locked in. You know, it's a bit of a tank jungle meta. The Maokais, the Sejuanis, that's what a lot of teams are prioritizing these days. But I'm not seeing that here, Gopher. You know, I'm seeing these carry junglers getting locked in. At least the Viego, more of a carry jungler. Wukong, you know, he's a bruiser, but he does enough damage. He can get fed and carry the game on his own as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got Viego Jinx here already for PSC, so these are very volatile team fights, you know. You can get excited, you can start taking over souls. A lot of potential to just take one kill and snowball that into a team fight here. That's what they want to round out their first bit of the draft with. Syndra, okay, getting themselves a pretty solid mid laner here. It is a skill matchup into the LeBlanc. It's really dependent on how well you can use that Scatter the Weak to stop the distortion coming in. Because if you're able to do that, you're able to pick up the Splinter of Wrath passive stacks pretty easily and outtrade the LeBlanc.
For sure. Where's the Kaisa, man? I mean, it's so good mid lane into the LeBlanc. It's good marksman as well. Neither of these teams decide they want to lock it in, so we're not going to get to see it, at least in this first game. It is going to be... The Syndra's got some tech into LeBlanc as well, right? You can interrupt the distortion with the Scatter of the Weak if you time it well, but definitely going to be at risk here of getting blown up, not especially mobile or especially tanky. We'll see if this LeBlanc does want to go in for that static shift build. It is still pretty powerful at clearing out those waves. Can also just go full AP, like an old school LeBlanc, if that really is what you prefer. Now, Melio
Yep.
ban and a Camille ban coming through from Pride Stalker. Looks like it's going to be a top and a support for Primal Instinct as well. They're going to take out that Renekton. Now hovering towards the Braum, and that'll get locked in as well.
Yeah, I'm expecting the support lock in here. Save solo lane for R5. Unless there's a top laner, you have really high priority. Okay. It's definitely interesting. Alright, I didn't expect the fewer R4 here, to say the least. Because usually you want to use the R5 counterpick here, especially for top lane, since that is a very counterpicks heavy sort of lane. But PSC's comp, this is a lot of potential for damage in team fights. Not a lot of frontline. I'm expecting engaged support of some sort here to try and wrap up this composition with a little bit.
For sure, the Jack's gonna get locked in here for Primal Instinct as they're going to play this one up against that Fiora. It's an interesting choice to see come on across here for Nick in the top lane, but know that he is plenty familiar with those Jax matchups and decides that he can take it mano-y-mano up against that Fiora as the Janna is being hovered. What season are we in? Go for Reno. If we end up seeing this Janna Ash bot lane, it's been a long time since I've seen these two paired up.
Oh, okay.
It's 2023, baby. You better
Yeah.
believe it's season 13,
really
all right.
Here. Yeah. I mean, the Renata Glass will work out pretty well here. If you're able to get that huge hostile takeover onto the backline, then this Jinx should just start kind of killing everyone on their own team. Does mean, though, this bot lane might be susceptible to early all-ins, if that's what PSC wants to go for. Not quite yet. Taking the time to lock it in, and it's going to be the Lulu. So, not a lot of engage here on this PC composition. That's definitely raising some red flags.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. I mean, you're pretty much reliant on getting a sick flank off your Fiora to be able to win fights. And, you know, you do have a lot of single target burst potential with that Syndra to try to get resets going on your Viego, but I agree. It's going to be really tough to get fights started here. Primal Instinct have a huge advantage in that territory. I would say that Pride Stalker, they're going to look to play through side lanes and dominate with their Fiora, but you know, the Jax was selected into it. So you would think that Nick feels confident in his ability to match this Fiora in that scaling side lane on the Jax. So really feels like the options for Pride Stalker have been limited here on the red side.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I kind of highlighted earlier, I thought they were going to pick an engaged support like this for Leona to maybe get themselves some ways to start off these fights and get these resets, because Pride Stalker's comp definitely very skirmish focused, definitely very reset focused, very snowbally. Does not offer a lot of utility outside of the Lulu here, so might be a big issue like we've been highlighting. On the other side, though, for Primal Instinct Black, very stock standard front to back composition, to say the least.
Definitely. And now Viego getting locked on in. Wukong now going to get taken away here on the blue side, as is LeBlanc. Now going to be, you know, it's pretty much everybody going exactly where we expected. Not going to be too much of a surprise. No real flex picks available in the draft, so not going to be anything we didn't expect to see here. But I'm going to be very curious to watch the top lane matchup, especially. I mean, both top laners have opted into this really skill duel heavy matchup. It's going to really have a big influence of how things go, because if Six Blades can get ahead, can really offset a lot of the issues with Engage we've talked about through being able to win the side lane. But if Big Nix wins, it's really going to limit the options that are available here for this this Pride Stalker Esports team.
Yeah, it's a volatile top lane matchup, to say the least. Since either one of these champions can snowball with the gold lead very well, wouldn't be surprised if we see some early jungle attention up there, especially from Roof as this Viego. Roof? Ruoff?
Ruoff. I'm going to go with Ruoff. If anybody in chat wants to correct us, any close personal friends of Mr. Ruoff08 want to give us some pronunciation guides, we'll happily take them. Up until then, though, we're going to be going with Ruoff. So... Gonna be a fun one here for sure. I see there's a couple of folks that do not match the names I would expect. I gotta check if Suki Top is Key Lime or if that is a substitute. So I'm gonna be checking that out while you cover for me, TDS. Not TDS, your Go for Reno.
Yeah, wrong co-caster, but yeah, that is one of the issues here. When people name change, it makes our lives harder.
Okay, Suki Top is a substitute, so they do not have Key Lime in today. It's just Suki Top as a substitute coming in to play a champion that is a favorite of Mr. Key Lime. Is this Recommissioner? Recommissioner, by the way, if you don't know about Recommissioner, he has got like 5 accounts, and they're like Commissioner, Recommissioner, Decommissioner, Recommissioner again, but spelled slightly differently. I love what this guy's got going on with his names. I don't think Janna Carr is one of those, so this may also be a substitution coming in on this final week. Meanwhile, Eric Northman, I know, is also a He's the intended starter, but I saw somebody who was a substitute here, so we've definitely got some movement going around, at least on Primal Instinct. Okay, these are the intended 5 starters for Pride Stalker, but Primal Instinct, they've got multiple substitutions coming in.
Interesting. It is last week, I guess, so maybe not everyone was available, but no surprises here in the runes that we're looking at so far. I guess maybe top lane you could say, maybe expected to conquer one of these two champions, but they are both great. So grasp, mid lane, it's definitely going to be a Shiv LeBlanc game. You know, that's why you take the fleet of footwork to go with that static Shiv.
Yeah, and going to be the first strike on the Syndra as well, so creates that little mini game there. If Platypus can come in, get the autos, get the poke in first, it's going to really hamper some of the value that can be gotten off of that keystone. Syndra does have that little range advantage though, so want to land your Dark Spheres, want to get your additional income where it is available. Otherwise, not too much spice coming through. I mean, probably going to be a couple of Aries for the supports, and it indeed is. We'll be keeping an eye on how they're going to be able to control these fights and buff up their ADCs as it goes on. But again, it feels like the superior team fight power going to be coming out of this Renata. I mean, hostile takeover, it feels like people kind of got over it and now just don't feel like it's this massive team fight threat anymore. But especially with all these auto attackers, it's going to be a big deal when you are facing off against Janakar's potential to really lock down your entire team and get that Jinx rocket coming right into your face.
Yeah, that's one way to kind of shred through people. Everyone's been on that receiving end, so don't want to be dealing with that, of course, but we'll see if it does get to that point, because you can burst out the Renata Glass very easily, even with the bailout. Like, that only buys the Renata Glass like an extra 2 to 3 seconds if you are focusing her, maybe even less. So we'll see how that does pan out. Of course, that's for the later stages. We'll see how aggressive Tsuzuki top and Janakar can go as the spot lane combo, since Ashe plus the Renata Glass can definitely be a little feisty in that.
Definitely. Now, going to be ticking down at the very end of our countdown here. Just to remind everybody of the stakes, we've got these two teams facing off for who is going to be the number 2 seed coming into playoffs. There's a lot on the line there to get yourself that better matchup, get yourself also on the opposite side of the bracket versus the 1 seed. I mean, looking at how well LK Gaming have been able to do thus far, you're definitely going to be wanting to avoid that if at all possible. So that's going to be a serious threat to your ability to advance further, given both of these teams did end up dropping their series. They are going to want to get some time to amp up and play LK Gaming as late into the bracket as they possibly can to, give themselves that opportunity to move further. And if they do get knocked down to the lower bracket, you always want it to be later rather than sooner to give yourself that extra buffer.
Yeah, it really does help for your playoff runs. But that being said, we are going to take a quick break here while we get everything set up for the game. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a jiffy with game number 1 of this series.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Risen Divine League, where we are on to the Rift for Game 1 of Primal Instinct Black, taking on Pride Stalker Esports. Primal Instinct Black will be on the blue side, Pride Stalker on the red, as both teams are posturing for their position into playoffs, want to make sure that they are going to have the best opportunity possible to make themselves a deep as run of they can.
Seeding matters, fella gamers, so that's why we see this right now. Cheeky little ward, level 1. Ruoff almost takes it. 5 gold though for spotting out the ward. Shout outs to that change. I love it.
Keeping the vision firm there as these two top laners posturing towards each other. I see Nicknix has already gotten unlucky. The Vital going to spawn directly facing Six Blades. Look how close that is. So that's going to be a little bit tough there.
There
Does
we go.
despawn though. Now he's got one on the back. Now he feels more powerful. He can step up here. He can be a little more dangerous.
Oh, this is the classic Jax level 1. Yep, you just walk up to them with that counter strike. What are they going to do? They have one ability, and the rest of their level 1 damage is auto attacks, which
Lunge is
you
an
have
auto
to just
too.
be dodging.
Yeah. Lunge is an auto as well. I believe it gets blocked by the counter strike, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, I know at the very least it applies on hit effects.
yeah, tough breaks there for Six Blades. Wins the 50-50 at first, but then loses it in the follow-up trade and will be down about 100
Ooh,
health.
that's a
Speaking of
juice.
being down in health, great punish there from Janikar and Suki Top as they see the Pride Stalker Esports bot lane approaching and they immediately look to punish. Oh,
Ow. All right, Pride Stalker Esports just across the board here. All 3 lanes getting some favorable trades on in. We can see bot lane Potion already forced out from Eric's Lulu here. Of course, heavy damage going back as well. Janikar definitely low themselves.
for sure. And now going to be a little bit of a trade in mid lane. We are going to see Platypus utilizing those base damages of the block. That's just going to continue to be a major point. Is note that the junglers have gone towards opposite sides here. It is going to be Laneless arriving in bot lane first. Ruoff maybe looking to turn that top lane. We talked about how that top lane might really be where this matchup swings, given how much Pride Stalker need to rely on the side lanes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, alrighty. Another Counter-Strike charged up. And even though, nope, level 1, definitely going in favor of Nicknix there. The wave pushing in favor of Six Blades. They have killed more minions. Thus, their wave is pushing up much more. And this is a nice wave they have built up. Nicknix, yeah, don't want to be hopping into those minion waves there unless you got that Counter-Strike really rearing to go, since that does block minion autos and lets you go for much more cheeky trades. But Six Blades able to get a very cheeky Vital there, and we got Ruoff on the side here.
Yeah, here comes this early dive. Laneless getting a nice stun off, but it's not going to force anybody to take aggro. Good dodge there on the blade of the Ruin King.
Minion.
Will keep Ruoff up for a second, but Nicknix will eventually get the trade back. First blood, though, over to Pride Stalker.
First blood, it does go over to Ruoff. Hold that thought, because very heavy trading in the bot lane here. Shouldn't result in a kill. Should result in backs unless we keep seeing aggression. Or we see a dive come out from Laneless here. That's a good ward into the Tribe Rush there. We'll spot this out coming. All summoners are available for these 2 bot lane champions.
They're missing the wave, though, Goferino, so looks like that opportunity is not going to present itself here. Great damage coming out of Suki Top and Janikar, though. Really chunking these guys out. Same thing happening with Platypus in mid lane. But nobody going to end up going down. Nicknix, he's right back to his old trades. He's right back to his shenanigans. He is not going to let Six Blades get away from this without a fight.
Ooh.
Gets some good damage, gets a nice grasp proc as well, as the poke keeps coming in bot lane. Laneless has found Ruoff. He's got the level advantage. He's looking for the one-on-one. Nicknix has taken first blood of the top lane, trading 1-for-1. Now the bot lane dive truly on the table, as Ruoff has already gone down. Eric Northman has fallen so low. Here's the double. Here's the triple kill for Laneless, getting all the gold into his monkey pockets to start off the game.
Ooh, and that's not a good look here for PSE. You have to remember on the top side, Six Blades did drop, giving up that solo kill to Nicknix. It looks like Six Blades decided to not back there despite the low health, unless I missed something on the mini map, which could have definitely happened. There was a lot of action in that bot lane, but either way, it's now 5-2 in favor of Primal Instinct Black, and they're going to be feeling fine and dandy since it means all their lanes right now are winning.
Gonna be plenty happy with that. They now are winning across the board, really. I mean, Nick's maybe a little bit behind
Oh,
in CS. Let's check out the
thanks,
replay.
Daddy.
Let's see how this went down. It was a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Oh,
Yep.
there you
Just
go.
flash. Yeah. Just one of those situations where it's like, obviously we have hindsight here, but maybe that low under turret. And you know Nick says flash. You better be like, yeah. Gank in the top side though. No ultimate for laneless just yet, or any of these players.
You know, laneless. Really strong in itemization here. The Sheen procs just all go into Blade's face, and he's going to have to flash away. Ruoff is here for the counterplay. Is it a little bit of a level disadvantage? But he's got a big ol' health bar that he can keep using to try to pressure. Vel is up here as well. They're going to have to disengage this laneless with a nice little Nimbus strike to get himself out of dodge. Does avoid the scat of the week. Back in for Nick. He's going to trade 1-for-1, but Platypus is here to make it even, and even more so for Primal Instinct. And now laneless back into the play, trying to dish the damage out to Vel. And that's going to be a triple
Oh,
kill. This
no.
time to Platypus. Primal Instinct Black. They snap the trap shut, and they are 8-3.
And Stalker Esports just over chasing way too hard there, Gordo. Big trade in the bot lane here. That's another triple going over to Primal Instinct Black on another scary carry. That's a good handshake and ignite.
Yeah, Janakar taking a lot of damage. Does get the bailout on themselves, though. They will escape there with their lives. Nicely played. As here comes Ruoff trying to turn this play around. Who's going to get the triple kill next, Goverino? Who's it going towards for Primal Instinct as Ruoff paths his way in? He's got the fog. Suki top, though, getting the kill first and foremost. And Ruoff, his health bar is low. He's going for this, but Suki has been bailed out, but not going to be able to do it in time. And now with that soul stolen away, Ruoff going to try to get something back. The volley going to land, but the flash away from Janakar will get them out to safety.
And Ruoff there, able to get one back in return after they lose another two members in that bot lane. Stalker Esports definitely feeling the brunt of it right now. Everyone across the board has at least one death pre-10 minutes, and that's never a good thing, to say the least. On the other hand, you got a 3-0 LeBlanc, you got a 3-0 Wukong. That's not going to be fun to deal with when it comes to these skirmishes, especially for Stalker Esports, since they got the skirmishing team here.
Yeah, if I'm Vel and I'm facing down the 7-minute static Shiv LeBlanc, I'm a little upsetty. I'm not gonna lie. I'm having a rough time. Substantial gold lead here for Platypus to be able to complete those mythics early, and it's going to end up making a big difference here as this wave can just get shoved in over and over and over again, and it's going to let Platypus roam around the map wherever he wants, and he's going to make it everyone else's problem.
Yep. Okay, Chompers come out. Very good trade. Super Mega Death Rocket is available. Does not finish the kill. That finishes the kill. The bailout was available, if I'm not mistaken, but not expecting that final zap to land is Janakar. And good kill in return here for Pridestock.
Yeah, no. Thick hitbox on that one as well. Going to trade back and forth with Platypus. Here comes Laneless once again. He's got himself behind Heogre, and Heogre not going to be long for this world. Suki top gets another kill, up to 2-1 now in the Ashe.
Yep. And just like that, the good kill you got to kind of even up this lane down the drain. You know, 1-3 is a Jinx pre-10. It's a very rough spot to be in, to say the least. And it's going to afford some prio here for Primal Instinct Black. They can choose to go for the dragon pretty soon if they do so choose, but I'm imagining Suki top going to want it back here. And then they can look to pressure the dragon, because you got the super strong bot side. Why not just start picking up dragons here? Why not just start stacking?
Definitely. Now, top side domination for Primal Instinct so far. They've got leads on all their members. A little bit of a CS deficit for Nick's, but should be making up for that in kill and assist gold, and that they've gotten to participate in more. Ruoff, though, still sees it as the place to play. He's hanging out here, but Laneless is there as well, and Laneless very strong now with this Divine Sunder already completed. Here's the full engage on a Nick. They are going to go in for the Heartbreaker. They don't land it, though. The dive coming through. Ruoff going to go down. It's 1-for-1 so far, but now the focus is going to be on a 6 blades, and Platypus is here to finish it off with the static Shiv proc. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Primal Instinct.
Platypus with the hashtag all me there, just jumping in, doing that one static Shiv auto attack to secure the kill. And that's another 2-for-1 here in the favor of Primal Instinct Black. Not a triple this time at the very least, but it's still very hefty. You commit those 2 members there. You commit the flash from Ruoff. Suki Top can look for something here.
Bell with the full
Nope.
combo. Just destroys Suki Top, but here comes Nick of all people. He's teleported into the bot lane. He wants to get involved in some of this action, but he's just taking damage, not dishing much out himself. Janikar is there for the shielding, but not going to be able to convert this into any kills. And Stalker Esports, they're managing to keep this lead exactly where it is. It's been about 2K for a while now, and they're holding it there. Now looking to turn it back around as they get some good damage back onto Nick. They CC him down while he's looking for that counter strike, but the disengage will be successful.
We got 2 people coming in hot top lane here. Laneless already here. Has the Rift Herald. They sold that out. No, Cyclone is available, so it's up to the chain landing. The chain misses. It's just
Great,
going to be
though.
100 damage.
Big crit there on the little LeBlanc laser. Love to see that one coming through because of the static shift build, but not going to be enough to lock down all 6 blades. He will be able to get out of there in time. Pretty dang even with Nick as far as itemization goes. Maybe a little cloth armor in the pocket of Nick will make a little bit of a difference, but not going to be a massive lead for either side. This is where that one-on-one matchup is still pretty even, but maybe that's why they're swapping away from it. They're just going to leave Platypus up there for now, and they're leaving Nick down to the bottom where he teleported earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, because even though Nick has these 3 kills, also has 4 deaths, only 50 CS, so they're definitely having a bit of a rough time themselves. Thankfully, they've gotten some kills under their belt. I'm not as scared as I would have thought. Yeah, good on you to point that out, because I'm like, yeah, it's a Jax. He got like a couple of kills. It's like, he has also died 4 times. That's definitely a bit of a whoopsie daisy, to say the least.
For sure. He's going to try to claim himself a little bit of turret plating, though. Great damage, though, out of Vel. He does have that ultimate available. He's going to look for the solo kill here, and he's going to get it.
Yeah.
Nick gets chased down by Vel.
Yeah. Oh, bit of a trapping setup here, and a field goal. 3 points. Maybe that's not how League of Legends works. The NFL isn't even in season.
I mean, it could be. We just don't know what points do. You know, there's not really a mechanic called points.
And certain game modes there are.
True.
Dominion, there's points.
Dominion, there was points.
Well, you wanted to lose points. Well,
You wanted the other team to lose. Oh, no, you wanted to...
You don't gain points, but you can capture points, I guess.
Yeah, you wanted the other team to lose points.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. We don't need to remember the Dominion rules fully. It'll never be relevant again. So it's all about arena now. It's all about 2v2s.
They had like a bunch of fun game modes. Kind of wish they bring back like Ascension.
Ooh, I liked Ascension. That's a good point.
That
It required the map though. That used the Dominion map.
Yeah, and it had like that super fog of war, which was kind of memey. I actually got a super rare mythic icon because I managed to have a flawless game of Ascension back when it first released.
I remember grinding for that. I don't know if I ever got it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember. I just remember that I remember grinding for it though. I remember wanting it.
Yeah, well, I can flex on you.
Maybe. I might have it, dude. It's not really what I'm getting at here is it was about the journey. It wasn't about the destination. I remember grinding for it. I don't really remember if I got it or not.
Yeah. Definitely a bit of a lull in the action here. As you can tell by us talking about random game modes. Caddy mentioning Doombots. You think that? Okay. Chanted Crystal Arrow actually going to reveal Ruoff here. Grand Challenge coming out and just going to shoo away this Jax.
Yeah, it's real unlucky for Six Blades there. I'm pretty sure he throws down the Grand Challenge right as the arrow connects, and Nick, he doesn't take the challenge. He says, oh, well, I have a little more info than I had a second ago. I'm just going to back on out of here. Platypus trading with Vel. We get some good damage here, but he doesn't have the ultimate to finish it off. Used it as part of the trade.
Keep in mind, that was one of the things. Oh, I'll hold that thought. Vel, a lot of danger here. Flash is out. Okay, yeah. That was one of the things with Ship Rush LeBlanc. Like, you don't have any raw AP until you finish your first item. You start with a longsword on this build.
Oh my. That's going to be Six Blades going all in here, but Grandmaster's Might makes the difference. Meanwhile, Ruoff in mid lane does take out Suki top, so it's a 1-for-1 cross map. Stalker Esports going to take this opportunity and whittle away at the turret a little bit.
Yeah. Tragic from Six Blades there. They were just one vital off and they missed it. And then they flashed to try and claim it, but could not get it. Here's the replay. Go in. Get that proc. You miss this, so you don't get the stun. There's the Grandmaster's Might, and you don't get that vital. Or you might have, and it's just not late enough into your build where you do that much damage. Well, do so much damage with your weapons. Either way, they're 1-for-1 across the map. Nick's definitely going to be feeling good about that one after having quite a few deaths here. Granted, Six Blades also racking up the deaths here. This is a very top lane sort of KDA if I have ever seen one. At least going by my solo queue games.
For sure. It's now going to be 15 seconds to go until the dragon spawns on up here. Platypus trying to force out Six Blades before it is that time. Lameless lurking around in the bush, but doesn't look like Pride Stalker has any interest in even trying to contest this one. They got the first dragon. There's a long way away before Soul is even a factor. So they're just going to say, hey, we're 3k gold down. Let's just take some more time. Let's farm up. Let's get to our item spikes.
Yeah. Like, it was a pretty late first dragon. It was about 10 minutes in. Interesting thing to note, though, Platypus going for the Night Harvester build this time around. Typically, you see the Ludens because the mana is really clutch on LeBlanc, but if mana is not an issue, I believe we saw the mana flow ban for Platypus, which will definitely help out a lot. Can give you a lot of reset potential in fights with those procs, even if the procs themselves won't instantly kill someone. It does add up. Oh.
Okay, we got for sure. Starting on up the Rift Herald now. There's going to be the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Gets cleansed away by Hey Ogre, so that one's going to be down for a little while. We'll secure the Rift Herald here for Primal Instinct Black. Get that one onto Laneless, and they've calmed down a lot, but they've held on to their lead, and they've grown it just a little bit. They are about 3k gold ahead now, and with that Rift Herald, they should look to crack open some more turrets.
Yep. Hey.
Bless you. Bless you.
Oh my.
Oh my, the
Lord.
trifecta.
No. Okay, we have one Triforce completed so far. I know the components are in the inventory for super top. All into the bot lane. Just gonna be a howdy ho here. Half health though on Hey Ogre. Definitely in some danger here once that Enchanted Crystal Arrow is back up. About 60% off cooldown. And the Herald over the wall secures the turret.
Yeah, now going to be spawning that one up. It looks like they might be able to take out the turret before the crash. They do. So now they can pressure onto inner. They've got 2 caster minions. Those are going to fall pretty fast, but Shelly will do the rest of the work. Ruoff jumping over the wall, looking for a little engage. Here comes Platypus on the flank, just destroys Hey Ogre, who's going to be off the map. The teleport is coming on in, but it gets interrupted by the turret falling, and now Laneless sees an opportunity to grab some more. Hostile takeover lands on both targets. Eric Northman now and Ruoff, they've got to hide back underneath their turret. Double stun from Vel, trades back a lot of damage, but Laneless, he escapes with just a sliver of HP. Let's see how much HP that is, Caddy. It's got to be like 10.
Yeah, there's more action. 50, so it's probably about 30 at that point. Also, the Herald did get a charge in on that inhibitor turret, so that is a very high value Herald right there, and that's going to put quite a bit of extra bank in the pockets of the members of PIB. You can see here, got some nice gold leads here in the jungle, in the mid lane. That's where most of the lead is. I mean, there's a bit of lead for the sports, but nothing to tell them about.
You know, people don't realize, I mean, obviously these players realize it, but people by and large don't realize the inner turrets are worth so much money now. Like, yeah. Honestly, they just pretty much double their gold lead off the back of that play. And a lot of that's, you know, they picked out the mid-outer as well. They got a couple kills actually, but a lot of money sitting in those inner turrets to be spread amongst the team as well. Oh, what a great shot there from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. An easy kill for Nicknix as he can just bash onto him. Maybe not quite as easy as he expected. He does get hit by the Unleashed Power, but Laneless is here to bail him out onto Ruoff. There is no Cyclone available, though. Just comes up a little bit too late as Ruoff does manage to take down that kill. That's some money for him on the Jackson. Janikar coming up just a little bit too late to swing the fight back around.
Yep, going back in on this bot side. We see the chase still shaping up in this top side. I believe Ruoff is outie this one. Might see a dive into bot lane. This is a very Fed LeBlanc 5-0 and going for the Lich Bane next. I mean, you do auto attack a lot with the static shiv build. You know, you gotta proc the shiv somehow, and that's with auto attacks.
Definitely, Eric Northman. Clearing out some vision, setting up for the rest of the team on the bottom side, but I see some pings going on towards this Baron. In Primal Instinct Black, they're plenty ahead. They see 6 blades on the bottom side. They also see some other folks on the bottom side when Eric Northman was clearing out that vision. So they think they can take this. It doesn't seem like Pride Stalker have any idea it's going on, and this is going to be a 21-minute Baron. They see it, but it's too little, it's too late, and it's Baron buff to Primal Instinct Black.
Huge move there by Primal Instinct Black, just pulling the trigger, knowing that too many members were gone. Constellation turret picked up in the bot side here by 6 blades. That grand challenge is down. See if they're able to get more marks here. Very close.
Well fought battle there by 6 blades, but will go down to Platypus when all is said and done. Here comes Ruoff, though, trying to turn it around. The Baron recall, not enough. Platypus trying to create the space. Will probably have to blink back here, but no. Ruoff, he splits the difference, and he takes him down. 1k gold shutdown into the pockets of the Pride Stalker jungler, but Laneless looking to trade it back. Ruoff going to use his Heartbreaker to try to get out of here, but the Cyclone is available, and Laneless is right on top of him, just spinning him down. Shutdown picked up.
Worthwhile in terms of pure gold picked up here for the side of Pride Stalker, and also taking down a Baron buff from a very dangerous side lane threat. Does mean you do give up this dragon, though. It is, on the other hand, a 22-minute second dragon stack here. So we're talking about 32, 33 minutes when there is the potential threat of that Infernal Soul. For now, you will take that, get yourself some breathing room from this Baron buff. Help keep away these pit members from your turrets.
Definitely. Gonna get on to Dragon number 2 here as they're making their way up towards Infernal Soul, but given how early that Baron was picked up, it's looking like Primal Instinct Black, they've got a bit of a shorter plan for this game, probably not intending to make it 10 more minutes if they can help it. So not really setting up to do too many crazy pushes with this Baron buff. They're happy to take the gold, but so far just kind of been clearing out camps, taking some fights on the bottom side of the map, and not doing too much else with the buff.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't really gotten any turrets with it. You already pushed in mid towards that inhibitor turret, and then it's just inner turrets on the side lanes here. So you would need a coordinated effort with all the shenanigans that happened, but didn't really pan out, and that Baron buff should be expiring in a bit here. Bit of an all-in on the bot lane. Nick should have that jump up again. Hold that thought. Big all-in.
Yeah, just blowing up Eric Northman. Ulti still available, did not get a chance to cast that Wild Growth, and now going to be Vel getting taken down as well off the back of that Cyclone from Laneless. 5 versus 3 on the map. Nicknix, though, will lose it out in this one-on-one. 6 blades might take this the rest of the way. Ruoff going to be there as well. Super Mega Death Rocket, too. They are all in on taking down Nicknix, but they are losing their top side in the very same moment. 6 blades will be able to finish off that kill, but look at the top side inhibitor. What is Heogre going to do about this all on his own? The answer is nothing. Primal Instinct Black taking way more than they give up.
Yep, you give up 1 kill, and you already picked up 2 for yourselves in this top lane, so just get an inhibitor as well. This is a low health inhibitor turret as well. You already got some poke here onto a ogre, and you have the man advantage on the map right now. Never mind that. It is 5 versus 4. We got some members just freshly spawning in, but you picked up 2 inhibitors for yourself here. You get a kill too. You know, just a little too far, but huge dubs picked up by Pib here to really solidify themselves a solid state in this game with the 6k gold lead, with the 2 inhibitors down, setting themselves up for Baron in about 2 minutes time.
Yeah, this has gone very sideways, very fast, Goferino. Just not able to contend with the forces of Primal Instinct Black with those 2 members down. They get their pick on a Nicknix, but it's really left their base in shambles. And now it's going to be really tough for them to get out here to contest things like Dragon, and they are 1 lost team fight away from losing the whole game.
Yeah. Or just spending too much time outside of their base here with double supers. It can get very easy to lose track of them. And, well, it can be very easy to lose your base if you lose track of them. I want to be giving that one on up. Still, there is some fight left in PSE here. They've managed to hold on so far, and they got some kills on their carries. have a lot of damage for these fights. We'll see what they can do to force fights. However, we outlined issues with their lack of engage. And speak of engage,
Yep, Enchanted Crystal Arrow doing its job. Wild Growth going to
ooh,
save Vel's life, so he will be able to recall to try to defend up against this final push. But these are your very last turrets on the map, Pride Stalker. You guys are going to have to get back here and try to deal with this. 3 caster minions to tank up the turret as they try to work their way through it, and they're doing it real fast. They are doing a great job of keeping these alive. Here comes the engage, the flash in with the Cyclone. Hayoker going to drop to LeBlanc as Vel comes back out of the base, throws out the Unleashed Power, but can't even get a kill for it. 2 members down now for Pride Stalker as Six Blades arrives to the play to try to defend this inhibitor, but it's looking like it's gonna be the triple going over to Primal Instinct, and now Nick's knocking on the top doors, looking to find his way onto these Nexus turrets, and 5 members strong. Primal Instinct are not willing to give up this push. They are gonna keep stepping forward, going in for the handshake. There's the hostile takeover, lands on 3 members, follow up with the chain CC, and Primal Instinct Black slam the fight, and are gonna close out a dominant game number 1.
very dominant in the tail end here, very dominant at the beginning. During the mid game, things were definitely much more tit for tat when it came to trading blows here. But in the end, Pride Stalker Esports will be folding over from pressure that's just been exerted across the map here by Pib in this game number 1, Gordo. And looking like that, maybe your 2-0 prediction is correct, but we'll have to see.
I was getting a little worried when I saw the substitutions coming in. I was like, oh, maybe I should have split the diff. Maybe I should have gone for the 2-1 like everybody else. But feeling real good about that prediction now, Gopher. I've not been wrong so far this season. At least not in the result. I've been wrong on the score. But looking like a good start for Primal Instinct.
Yeah, and you can see from the gold graph here, I mean, it was basically a lead for Primal Instinct Black the entire game. Things were pretty close. You can see, especially in that mid game here, between like 12 minutes and like 18 minutes, things are like manageable. Then it's towards the end where the kills start coming in, where the Baron's picked up, bases just smashed YO open. And the next thing you know, you're having a fight for your life around that bot lane inhibitor.
Definitely. So, a lot of damage dealt in the top lane there by Mr. Six Blades. But yeah, as you said, didn't really get the chance to utilize it, falling too far behind across the rest of the map. A lot gets done early on with triple kills going over to both Laneless and Platypus. Surely that's going to be where you're looking if you are Pride Stalker. Maybe don't give over 6 kills within like 6 minutes. That's
Yeah.
probably what you want to change coming into game number 2.
Yeah, we definitely saw a lot of over aggression on some plays there and some very hard punishes coming out from Primal Instinct Black against some slip ups from Pride Stalker Esports. I mean, we saw 2 triple kills there before the 8-minute mark for the jungle and mid laner of Primal Instinct Black, and that really just set mid lane really far behind. Not to mention also jungle as well. That's the one thing I do want to see Pride Stalker Esports really tidy up in this next game. Don't give over those big leads early. Don't give over those huge multi-kills early, because especially against snowballing champions like the Wukong, like the LeBlanc, things get hairy really quickly if you do that.
Absolutely. Here going to be a fantastic game number 1 for Primal Instinct Black. Pride Stalker obviously going to have to change something coming into game number 2. We're going to find out what that something is once we get back and can get into draft for our second of what could possibly be 3 games tonight if Pride Stalker are able to turn things around. So do not go anywhere. We're going to be right back after a short break, but we'll be back with draft for game number 2. Welcome back to the Risen Divine League, everybody, where we are coming at you with game number 2 between Stalker Esports and Primal Instinct Black. Primal Instinct moving over to the red side for game number 2, where they have got themselves a potential to take a sweep here and move themselves up into sole possession of that second seed coming into the postseason.
Whoever wins this is guaranteed second seed, since both teams have lost to LK Gaming. They will lose the tiebreaker even if LK lose their series tonight. First up on the board, no real changes, no real surprises here. Just going to be these bands coming on out once again, the Irelia and the Kindred.
Yeah, for sure. Checking out the draft from game number 1. So far, no changes for either side. These were Nico and Blitzcrank bans. To round things out for Primal Instinct, it was a Belveth ban for Pride Stalker. There goes that Nico. I'm still on the hunt for Kaisa. Where is she, Gofrino? This champion is broken on this patch, and I would like to see more of it, as that LeBlanc going to be switched things up here. So it is the Belveth left available for Mr. Laneless. He's been a big fan of that Belveth. I could see it getting locked in, Gofrino.
Yep, and the Renekton going to be the ban here, but it's the takeaway Ashe.
Ashe just the best champion in the game. Got to be one it for both teams, I guess. I mean, can't give up an opportunity to lock in the Ashe. Keyline, again, not even here today. And yet still the Ashe is going to be that absolute massive prio picker ban. It did look really good in game number 1. So I can't blame him too much, I suppose.
Yeah, I can't blame him. It also takes away a comfort pick here from Primal Instinct Black, but at the same time, I mean, I guess it is a little busted. But there is the Belveth. It was banned away last game. Very snowbally champion, very dependent on getting those Gamora marks or Gamora marks. I forget which one it's called. Either way, though, you got to get those stacks. You got to hit your ultimate form so you can really take over the Rift here. It's just a matter of will they be able to do that here as Links.
For sure, Belveth and Ezreal going to be the lock-ins. Love to see me some Belveth. Gofrino. Super exciting pick to see in the jungle with all its snowball potential. I love to see it if you can try to support it as well. Something that we get to see in NACL sometimes is like a little Sejuani mid action alongside the Belveth. I would love to see something like that come through here for Platypus, if it's something they're willing to go for. Can also play it with the Viego, by the way, that has been locked in for Pride Stalker. So they're going to run that one back. And, you know, it did look pretty solid for Ruoff, actually, as an individual pick. He's able to make some plays on it, just not able to offset the deficit that they had been set into. So feeling like, hey, you know, we've got engaged now from the Ashe with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. We're going to play better in the early game, presumably. Let's run it back on the Viego.
And we saw this combo banned away last game here to make sure there was no Ashe Melio. It's going to be locked in this time around. The Senna being hovered would be able to match the range of the Ashe, especially once you get a few stacks under your belt. It's the second range increase where you will outrange the Ashe with a 625 auto attack range. And it will be locked in here, so going to be a very poke heavy bot lane here on both sides.
All right. I like the Senna. I mean, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun one. Really looking, yeah, as you said, that turbo safe bot lane coming through with the Ezreal Senna from Primal Instinct. They say, we've already lost out on the poke battle because of the Ashe, so we're going to just try to play as safe as we can. We've got that sustain coming through from the Senna. We've got the long range. We're just going to farm it up, and we're going to be huge forces later game. Senna, especially, I like with the Belveth. Love to have, you know, these really up-close melee fighters alongside that Senna. Really lets you get the most value out of your piercing darkness. Now we're getting into the top lane bans. The Fiora going to get taken away from Primal Instinct. That's not going to be an option available this time. And they're going to ban away the other solo laner as well in the form of the Syndra.
Yep. All right, just taking away both of the PSC solo laners here this time around. That's one way to target ban people, take away some comfort from the last game. The question is, what will they R4 here? You will have to show one of your solo laners here. It's just a matter of which. I feel like mid's probably going to be the easiest to get away with because, as I mentioned last game, top is the most counter-pickable lane in all of League of Legends. Although with all these bans leveraged, okay, it is going to be the Annie here. So get yourself a lot of burst in this mid lane and just get someone to help set up this Belveth.
For sure, the Annie going to be coming on through here. So no Sejuani mids, I gotta say. It's probably gonna be Platypus's Annie coming through here. So I don't even know why I get my hopes up. Pride
Yeah.
Stalker now. They've got some solo lanes to lock in for themselves. What do they want to take into the Annie with that Syndra band away? That's going to be the first question. And then the blind Darius for Pride Stalker. 6 plates. He feels real good going up against Nick Nicks after game number 1. That's what that communicates to me.
All right, because you can counterpick Darius very heavily. I know we've seen Quinn a few times. Nocturne top is actually hilariously a very strong counterpick into the Darius. The issue is then you are playing Nocturne top, and that's usually not what you do in these 5v5 settings, but not completely out of the question here. I know top laners typically hate this Darius with a passion because you kind of don't get to play the lane against him for the most part. Sandra, though, going to be the final lock in here. You got the double Freljord comp here from PSE. That's going to be a lot of CC, a lot of potential to engage, and a lot of zoning here with this glacial tomb offered by little Sandra.
Yeah, not buffed yet. Getting buffed on the next patch. We'll be getting a boatload more healing on that ultimate. So that's going to be an exciting one. I want to play some Roa Lissandra next patch. That's my plan. But not going to be an option this time around. Probably going to be going for that more traditional Everfrost or you know, one of the other mage mythics. Now going to be the Wukong lock-in. The Wukong lock-in surprises me because only one of these two can go jungle. So I assume this is Wukong top to face off against the Darius.
Yeah, so Wukong top is also a counter into the Darius. I forget the exact reasoning why. I know the clone helps you a lot in this matchup because you can dodge out on apprehends and the decimating Qs very easily. It's the decimating swipe, decimating slash.
It's just decimate, I think.
Decimate. That was close. Dodge out on those decimates pretty easily. And I think you outtrade the Darius. I forgot. I just remember that it is a pretty strong counter into the Darius, and I know the clone is partially well.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I can see that. You get the enhanced range on Crushing Blow, too, so you can just kind of slide that one in there as appropriate. And yeah, I guess you do kind of dodge everything that he throws out with the clone. You can also, I assume you can dodge Noxian Guillotine. By the time you're getting guillotined, it might be too little too late, but that's certainly something to look at, is if he throws down that ultimate, he hits the clone. Now he doesn't have it, assuming he didn't execute it. It's something. It's not nothing.
Yeah, I don't know if you got resets off the clone. I'd imagine you do.
If you last hit it, you sure do, because it's a champion. But
yeah,
I guess if you don't last hit it, if he was ulting you for damage,
just ult you for poke.
Well, you know, like sometimes you stack up, you hit the ult, and he's gonna be left with like 200 HP and burn down to hemorrhage. But you're like, you know, I'm gonna ult him now before he flashes away. It happens.
Yeah. All right. So it is the Wukong top, as I thought, and as you thought as well. So we'll see how this counter pick works out, because Darius is, of course, a venison lane to say the least. I have a friend who always bans Darius no matter what, even if they aren't top lane, because they had a few scarring situations, a few scarring games on their mental psyche from just a few flex Q games against the champion. So I understand why you want to counterpick here. That, and also it's like you pick Darius to win the lane. That's usually why you pick it later in the draft, after you know what you're facing the top lane. You don't necessarily do it blind.
Definitely. So we'll see. I mean, some folks, they are big into the old Darius top, so got some players in North America particularly who are big fans of that champion. So always fun to see it come out. Always fun to see the interesting counter picks come out. I would have loved to see the Nocturne, like you brought up, go for Eno, but I'm excited to see Wukong top as well. It's been quite a while. It's been a hot minute since I've seen the Wukong top. I think Armut in Europe was like the last guy who really played any Wukong top, and it's been a jungler ever since. So it'll be good return to form here for the monkey.
Yeah, like it was like right after the mid scope. It's like, okay, yeah, he's a god given a top lane, and then all of a sudden Riot's like, let's just force him into the jungle. Let's give him bonus damage to jungle creeps. Okay. Oh, and also your W can now hop over walls. Like, bruh, Come
That
on,
was the
you didn't
big
have
one.
that
That was what really pushed him over the edge, is getting the
Yeah,
W over the
just being
walls.
able to hop over walls helps.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those things, like, it's happening to Rel right now. Rel's been nerfed now already, so maybe won't be the Rungle. The Rel jungle might not be a thing anymore come next patch. But I love when they make those changes where they're just like, we just put a bunch of numbers into the jungle camp so you can jungle it now, and then people start jungling it and they're like, yeah, we don't like how it's a jungler now, so we're gonna change that.
Oh god, don't talk to Talia Mains about that. Because I know when they did those random buffs to a bunch of like low elo skewed play rate champions, like, oh yeah, you can take them jungle now, so you can feel more familiar, right? It's like, yeah, so what we found out is it just means that the Darius can steal enemy raptors that much quicker. The enemy Wukong can, well, not Wukong, actually, get into the jungle, but either way though, got both the teams here. Definitely got a lot more engaged this time around for Bright Stalker. That shored up one of our issues we had last game. The question is, will they be able to get a snowball in this top lane? Will they be able to get a snowball going for this Viego, I feel? Because both these junglers, very snowball heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Oh, we're missing
oh,
a Darius picture. It's
we're
so
going
rare that we don't even have the asset for it. But it's Conqueror Darius. It's always Conqueror
yeah,
Darius.
we saw the runes.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, it's just a little bit
that's all right.
better.
It's just Darius. Go on to the jungle. On to the next selection.
We'll see if it continues
We
here.
take the L. We move past it.
Okay,
Oh
now.
man.
Oh, one to the right, one to the left. Well, slide to the right, slide to the
It
left.
evens out. It balances out over time. It's just the not often picked champions. I'm sure we have both Annie and Lissandra. Keep it going. All these champions are taking Conqueror anyway. It doesn't matter. There we go.
Yeah. It's funny though, because we wouldn't have had it for Annie if we were talking just earlier this year. It wasn't until she got a bunch of quality of life buffs that really helped her come back into the meta, just to help modernize the champion. No real surprises in the mid lane though. Electrocute, pretty stock standard for Lissandra. I know Lissandra's nowadays typically go for very aggressive builds, like full on burst.
We got half of Ezreal. Just the top half. The
That's not
top like
half, that's like
40% of
third.
Ezreal is the best we can do.
But yeah. Yeah, I know they go for much more aggressive builds in solo queue. Competitive is a different story, so we might not see the full aggro build. I know the solo queue build, at least from the Lissandra OTPs, was typically the Ludens into the other Hextech alternator. And, Shadow Flame, which gives you a load of pen and really helps you burst out squishies. Don't know if we'll see that.
For sure. Lethal tempo coming through on to
All right.
the Senna. That's a fun one. So pretty standard stuff all around. Plenty of Conquerors. I like how we've just accepted that Conqueror is like the best rune in the game. Really, like it's like 4 to 5 Conquerors in any given game, and that's just life.
Weird though, because honestly, Phase Rush is pretty close in terms of power. I feel very obnoxious on a lot of training times. But that aside, like, yeah, it's kind of expected. Conqueror is made for like a lot of the champions we see are like Wukong, Darius, Viego. Yeah, they're kind of always going Conqueror. Velvet.
Well, that's because like the conditions for like most runes have like conditions, right? Where it's like Airy is like you want to both poke and shield people. Aftershock means like you want to have hard CC. Press the attack wants you to have auto resets. Like everything wants you to like have conditions. Whereas Conqueror is just like, do you like doing damage and do you like healing when you do damage? And every champion's like, yeah, I'm in for that. Let's do it.
Okay, there are a few, like Singed, even though Singed kind of likes Conquer, since you only get one stack from your poison, it kind of feels terrible to stack up on it.
It does.
Yeah.
That's intentional though, because otherwise, you know what else? Like Singed needs that. Because Singed, like, if Singed got a Conqueror stack off of every tick of poison, that champion would be done. That would be best in slot, and we would lose another champion to the wave of Conqueror. It would be, you know, 112 champions instead of 111 would have Conqueror as their best in slot rune.
Maybe 113. Is there you could consider? Either way, though, we got both the teams locked in here, and very explosive on both sides, to say the least. Even though there is a lot of CC here coming out from the PSA comp, they got quite a bit of burst themselves, and it's just kind of looking like full damage here on the side of Primal Instinct Black.
Definitely. The spec delay is finished counting down. I hear some spawning noises in the background, so I think we're ready to get out of the rift for game number 2. Go for Eno. Pride
Hello.
Stalker Esports are looking to clap back up against Primal Instinct Black. They are on the verge, Primal Instinct Black, of being able to take a 2-0 in this series and being able to move themselves up in a second seed coming into playoffs. Pride Stalker going to try to claim that seed for themselves, but they're going to need to win 2 in a row in order to do it.
Yeah, definitely going to be a bit of an uphill battle when you have to win back-to-back games. Not unheard of, especially in a best of 3, but it's always harder to win 2 in a row than it is to win 1, lose 1, then
That's what it's going to
nothing
take
too
for
much.
sure.
Nope.
Yeah.
There's the
Little
word.
ward, little ward, little recall.
Yeah, there's the sweeper. I don't really see this from junglers as much anymore. They typically value their level 1 ward that much more. We see them just sitting on the yellow trinket because this was something very common last season and I believe early this season where junglers level 1. They get the yellow trinket, run over like a madman, drop the ward somewhere, whether it's defensive to cover a entry point to your jungle or just drop it in the enemy jungle to get an idea of where the enemy jungler is starting. And then you just back and pick up the sweeper. That's what Laneless did here. Don't see Ruoff doing it, and we've been seeing more junglers leaning towards the latter. What Ruoff has been doing. Definitely interesting. Definitely a little talking point here. Well, we do the formalities of level 1. Got some leashing. Got some clearing of waves.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, going to be paying attention to how laneless paths especially really want to be as efficient in your clear as possible. You want to get ganks so that you can get the extra stacks. Blades, though, going to fully stack up his passive here at level 1. This is really where Darius wins even the counter matchups, and he's going to take him down. That reset should give First Blood over to 6 Blades. First Blood to Pride Stalker.
Yep. There's like a handful of champions that will actually level 1 Darius. Wukong is not one of them. Because I'm pretty sure you need the clearness. And
yeah, most champions need more than one ability.
Just cause both the summoners here from 6 Blades, so they're vulnerable to a gank, and especially if they stay like this, even with the Decimate that heal misses. Good damage coming out though from some of those hemorrhage stacks, and the minion damage adding up. Howdy ho on that hawk shot just to spot out where Laneless is. Unsurprising in that top side.
Yeah. Good little psychological lead over to Pride Stalker off that one as well. They really want to start a game like this. You get your Darius counter picked. You still manage to pick up the First Blood. Really can help turn around what was not a very close game number 1 in the minds of the players. Getting shoved in on this bottom side here as well. Good job to Pride Stalker. Just trying to utilize that Ashe that both these teams have prioritized so heavily, getting good damage there off the volleys. They've got the Melio for the backup as well.
All that extra range here. Okay, there's the Frozen. Something.
In goes Ruoff, getting some good damage there, and Platypus going to be able to flash away.
Yep. Here's the top lane gank. Good knock up there. Should just be nice return kill here. Laneless. Get some Gamora from that, I believe.
Yeah, definitely going to find some of those wingdings into Belveth off the back of that kill, and going to keep on farming their way down, picking up the Scuttle Crab as well. And you definitely want to have a winning top side, particularly as the Belveth, so that you can get on to your purple objectives, your Rift Heralds and your Barons. Those are the ones that give you that perfect form, and those are the ones that give you the Void Remora that are going to help you out in your pushes.
Help you on out with those pushes. Kind of always forget that the Void Remora are even a thing here on Belveth. Like, okay, yeah, you definitely don't see Belveth all that often when it comes to competitive 5v5 League of Legends, but like also it's like, oh yeah, she just has like Yorick ghouls. Right, I forgot about that. I was too busy on focusing on her slapping me to death.
Yep, definitely. Got the big slaps, but also got the pets there as 6 Blades brawling up against Nicknix once again. This time, though, at a level disadvantage, and Nicknix with access to the full kit feels stronger in his odds, but he does take a bit too much damage, and now is likely going to have to take a bit of a break. Here comes Ruoff trying to finish off the kill, but can't quite get there, and he does not want to tank up the turret. So going to be Nick's forced to recall. He doesn't have TP. He's getting chased down. Ruoff trying to get the kill. Will land the stun, and this should be kill number 2. He misses the blade, but he will be able to get it. Pride Stalker Esports up 2-1.
Yep. Oh, yeah, heavy training in the bot side here. That's another kill on the top side here against Nick's with the counter pick. Really bad showing. Forced out the heal hit there with that arcane shift on in. There isn't a ton of kill threat here. There is no ignite. It comes down to how many more auto attacks you can land. But Heiyojin able to stay in the cozy campfire here and just get a bunch of auto attacks down.
Now going to be a little bit of poke coming on through here from the Primal Instinct bottom lane, and the procs here from Senna making a big difference as well. Grabbing up those souls, getting that additional AD, getting that range early on, a big factor. And Heojer and Eric, they don't have a good angle to recall, so they're kind of just falling victim to it. Ruoff is going to come down here and try to bail them out. Stun coming on through from Platypus in mid. Vel is going to jump on away. But pay close attention to Ruoff and what he's going to be able to do towards this super safe bot lane, hoping that Suki is going to be using that shift aggressively. But here comes Ruoff, and they're just going to throw it on the mist. They're going to blink away, and they are fine and dandy.
Heiyojin does use the ghost there. It's a small cooldown taken away. Does give Prio over this dragon, though. We see the teleport coming in mid lane for Platypus, but with Suki top, back in base, and Janikar following suit. No real contest here to mount, even if Laneless was on this side of the map. So a nice early pickup here. Get the dragon under your belt, get some extra scaling, get a bit of extra juice going towards a potential soul win con. If it does come down to that. And yeah, you're feeling happy here. You are Pride Stalker Esports up 2-1, also up the dragon. You're feeling fine. You're definitely feeling.
You indeed are. It's going to be Laneless coming in for a bit of an invade. Thinks he's going to be able to secure this blue buff. Looks like he will. Already about 15 CS over Ruoff, who has spent some time on those ganks as well, but not gotten as many good results off of it. Or really, they're equal. They're 1-1 in terms of the gank successes, but Laneless has gotten a lot more farm as well, and now is going to find Ruoff. Well, he's got the level lead as well. Big punish onto this Viego above and below. There's going to be the kill for Laneless.
Yep, Laneless gonna be picking up that ultimate form too, just before the Rift Herald spawns. Don't have an exact timer on that. Does mean though that Suki top is alone in this bot lane. Gonna probably have to arcane shift out here any bit. Does not have to. And actually gets a good trade back with this.
Oh, he's going all in for it. Trying to finish off the kill. He does get it. Meanwhile, the dive up here onto Six Blades. They're going to take him out as well. Primal Instinct Black. They get themselves a win across the map.
Okay,
here comes the lockdown from Vel. Trying to finish off Laneless. A huge scoot to the side there to avoid the last bit of ice. And that's going to get Laneless out with his life.
And that was just a 1 versus 2 kill in the bot lane. Good dive in the top side to scare that on off. Ruoff is here on the bot side. Arcane Shift should be back up, and Wave is in the favor of Suki top. They're able to dodge out of that enchanted crystal arrow, though. We'll see.
Oh, Suki, he wants it. Cool as a cucumber. Sidestepping the ultimate. The flash away is not going to be enough. Heojer goes down. It's a 1-for-1 trade on the gank. Suki going to be feeling real good after that one.
And this is kind of reminiscent of game number 1, where PSE, they try and make up some plays here, but they pay in return. That's a 1-for-1. That's not accounting for the solo kill that happened here. And here's the dive again in top side, 3 versus 1. You drop the Cyclone, make sure this Darius can't stack up that passive too quickly, even with that big decimate there. Not able to heal back up enough. And here's the flash from Vel. But a good counter flash by Laneless there to stay out of that turret range, to stay out of this Lissandra's range. Just like that, it is a kill lead once again here for the side of Hib. They're going to get the Bel'Veth ultimate form again, once again.
And I'm pretty sure that tight little Void Rush up to the left to avoid the Q from Lissandra 100% saved Laneless's life. I think if that connects, you get the damage from the Q, which Vel is maxing, and I think that would also trigger Electrocute, because he'd gotten the auto and the ult for 2 hits already. So, definitely making a big difference there. Really great heads-up play by Laneless to dodge that.
Eric's top. Emilio, not exactly known for the greatest roam gank plays. You only really have that soccer ball to start off fights, to keep people locked down. Definitely is a nifty tool. You also got Rule here.
Oh, okay. Nick's kind of setting himself up for it here. He's faking the clone. He's faking the clone. He still hasn't used it. Now he throws it down. I'm gonna be honest, Nick's. I think you could have actually probably gotten away a lot more effectively if you didn't just mess around with
Make that
that the
another
whole
clone.
time.
Oh my lord there. Also, fun fact, the stop move trick as Wukong doesn't really work anymore since the clone would have tried auto-attacking there anyways. But this should be an easy dive bot. Yep,
Oh, wow.
blink and you'll miss it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's a real fast one. I mean, do we praise Nick's acting abilities there? And also, by the way, you can still make it work. You just have to auto-attack while you're holding S. I mean, you have to hold S, but then also have your attack thing turned on.
Yeah, it's a little troll, but hey, it happens. That being
It
said,
does.
though,
It's very
still
funny. I got it. Nick's, he's here to entertain. All
a
right.
bit of monkey business. That being said, though, this is a pretty decent lead here, nearly 3K separating these two teams right now, and Pib gonna be enjoying the lion's share of that. Mostly on laneless, but you also definitely got a good amount here on Tisig top with those 2 kills in their pocket as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Ultra Mega Fire Kick lands on Suki. He's taking a little bit of poke damage, but plenty healthy on this Ezreal as Brawls continue. Nick's maybe not having the stat line he would have wanted, but, you know, he's keeping up in CS with the Darius, and the Darius certainly isn't snowballing on him.
Yeah, that's one of the big things against Darius lanes. Like, did Darius not snowball like a monster? Okay. Okay, big flank TP. That's an easy stun. It's a knock up. Good ulti. It looks like Gordo is dead right now, but that's going to be a big shutdown picked up here by Roth. Able to get the knock up, able to get the buff up, able to get another reset here. Dodge out on any of these dodge out on any of these mystic shots here. And it's a 4-4-1 in favor of PSE when all is said and done. And
All
Gordo
right.
is back.
I'm back. I wasn't even gone on my end. I hope we didn't just on stream hear both of us play-by-playing at the exact same time. I'm sure that would be miserable. But thank you for covering for me there, Goverino. We are back.
Yeah. It would have been kind of funny if it's just like, this is a huge team fight.
That's kind of what the Korean cast sounds like, I hear. I mean, I don't speak Korean, so I don't really know what they're saying, but I hear it's just everybody yelling over each other.
A little bit of a delay here. Might have had a bit of a pause come out, but that TP from Suki top able to get one back in return. Does this land? Does land. Not able to get that reset.
Yeah, Ruok really trying to make something happen there. There's a solo kill for Platypus. At the same time, Vel not going to be able to make that happen. So kills all over the place here for Primal Instinct. They win in mid, they win in bot. They get 3 kills off the map, and now are going to throw down that Rift Herald, looking for first brick gold.
Yep. Right after a really beautiful 4-for-1 in favor of PSE. Just like that, it's a 3-for-0 back, so that makes it 4-4. But that's also first turret picked up here. And also a shutdown picked up. Okay, Vel's pretty low. Is this a flash? No, no flash. Okay, the flash was up. It's just a replay thing. Thank you, Spectate Client. Very cool.
Spectate Client trolling us as always. We've become accustomed to this. We've been here for years, Goferino. We know Spectate Client never being honest with us. Still telling us that this is going to be a Mountain Drake coming up in 3 minutes, and we know that's not true.
I love how they still haven't implemented those things, because you see on the buff board, like, when they pick up the Chemtech/Hextech Dragon, they'll be like, okay, a bit of a flank coming out, though, on both sides.
Good damage onto Janakar, but Vel He's already used all his cooldowns. He doesn't really have much left of the tank. True Shot Barrage
Oh,
not going to land, but Ruoff now coming in trying to finish off. Does not have the Heartbreaker quite yet, and Janikar going to be able to just walk it away, but there's the two-man Apprehend coming in from Six Blades.
Yeah,
He
that's
takes
one
out Suki
reset.
top, and now Nick's going to be the next target. Gets on away with the decoy, but Six Blades is hungry for blood, but cannot find another target and is going to just have to retreat back and settle for sieging mid lane.
Yeah, we'll be able to pick a lot of damage here, Nick's. Okay, gonna drop.
Yeah,
See that
a little
frozen
too
thrall.
aggressive there, but Laneless feels great about this one-on-one matchup. He's gonna take on down Ruoff, and now looking for more, just diving in 1 versus 3. He's got the Annie for backup, taking a lot of damage, but here comes Tibbers, and Heog are gonna go down real fast. Great play there by the side of Primal Instinct. They get themselves a kill back, 2 kills back, really, if you count Laneless's solo, for the loss of Nick's and Suki.
And 2 heralds for this Melveth. Definitely pretty big here. I mean, already pretty big because you're 5-1. Got a lot of stacks. I don't know how many passive stacks we're at. Able to look, I guess. I don't know much about the stacks. 'Cause they all get attack speed.
Yep. Quite a
That's
big
about
number
it.
there. Whatever number of Death in Lavender stacks she's got for herself. I always forget that name. I always forget whatever the wingdings are called on these newer champions. They love these infinite stacking things lately, the design team, right?
Yeah, a lot of skilling control mages with the mini reworks, you know?
Yeah. The
By that I
Splinters of Wrath on Syndra, another big one. At least they all have cool names.
Yeah. Even it's like a bit of a mouthful. NGL.
That's all right. That's the play-by-play problem, really. You can just that's why you can just call them wingdings. They're all wingdings. They're just a number. They're a number that goes on the champion. The lockdown coming through onto Laneless. Wingding's not going to bail him out here. Shutdown comes through for Ruoff as they're looking for Platypus above and below. Lands onto the Annie. Lockdown for a while. Heartbreaker on in. Goes into the stasis to buy some time. Now it's Vel's job to try to finish the job, but doesn't have the damage quite yet. Shutdown will eventually come through for Ruoff as Six Blades brawling with Nick's going to look in for this solo queue, but there's going to be the play by Nick's, demonstrating a little bit of the value of that counter pick right there.
Yeah, and Six Blades just going way too hard under that turret. Okay, that's the landing, the W. It's like the mist. I forget. I need to relearn a bunch of ability names. Either way, though, big 1-for-0 on the top side. You also get that mid lane turret. And yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of a comedy of errors there across the board. Yeah, a little bit of a demonstration of the counter pick in that top lane, though. Another thing we didn't really talk about for the Wukong and Darius is when he starts throwing up Decimate, you can just press Nimbus Strike, and you will be inside the circle, so you won't get hit by the blade.
And Dragon seeming to be the name of the game here. We got 2 in favor of PSE right now. There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow hitting the Enchanted Crystal Clone. This Herald pushing up in mid. This is going to be a turret taken here. See what the call is from PSE, because the earnest is on them. This Herald can just keep going. It can just crash into this turret. You're none the wiser.
All right, there's the flash in. The lockdown comes through. Vel finds the perfect engage angle, but doesn't even matter when Laneless has so many stacks of Lavender just destroying the team alongside Suki. That's the triple kill coming through for Suki top, and a 5-for-1 ace is claimed by Primal Instinct Black. Go for Eno. They're going to close it out right here, marching on through mid lane. Tibbers at their back, and nothing that Stalker Esports can do to stay alive in this game.
This is an even faster end than the last game, and this is pretty even, but all it takes is one fight. You're right at their base. Ruoff be damned. And yeah, that's a snowballing Velveth for you. I know Gordo is definitely going to be a little smug about the prediction of the 2-0 here, ending the regular season with perfect winner predictions.
Yeah, me and well, Slayer had it too until we forced him to pick Stalker. So we're gonna, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's up to Caddy what the rules are. This is Caddy's game. He gets to invent the rules. Let's check
So
out this last
yeah,
replay, though. Let's see how this game started and ended. A fantastic engage there by Vel.
yeah, like it looks good at the start. You instantly kill this Senna, but you're stuck into counter AoE. That's a great Ezreal ulti, just cutting through everyone with that true shot barrage. And yeah, laneless. The reset train started. Good luck stopping that. The reset train continues. It's kind of ogre by now. Just an absolute crazy turnaround coming from him in that fight there to end off the night 2-0, and definitely a shocker there because, that was a pre 19-minute win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a really dominant showing there from Primal Instinct Black. This is a team you do have to give them credit, right? Like they are a Masters team, as everybody in the Divine League is. But they've been going head to head with uncapped teams over in ACL. They've been really, really overperforming what their ranks would suggest. So when they're coming down into capped leagues like this, you see they are able to just show absolutely dominant showings like they did here tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I'm looking at the gold graph, like, because, you know, that's definitely like a sizable lead when you see it before that huge dip at the end, but it's like that 18-minute mark. You get that team fight into the Herald chart. Well, with the Herald charts, the team fight win, and all those turrets just amounting to that final gold lead of about 7K. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but also really shocking to say the least, because that just came out of nowhere. Like
Oh yeah.
half a minute before that, we're talking about, oh yeah, we're just setting up for the dragon. They drop the Herald mid. They'll definitely get this mid lane in their turret, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, the game's over.
Yep. Primal Instinct Black versus Mirage Alliance, a real potential playoff match that might happen. This split. I'm ready to see it, man. These guys look great. Having such a great run of it, and I'm really excited to see them once we get into the Risen Divine League playoffs here. As the likes of Levision 2. Two? What's two in French?
Oh, two. I don't know, dude. I don't speak.
All right, well, they're Le Vision. We're gonna say that, and then whatever two is. And LK Gaming. These teams both went perfect, or at least they were perfect coming into this week. I don't know how their matchups tonight have gone, but they were 6-0 already.
Yeah.
Both are obviously favored to be 7-0 because they've beaten plenty of other very skilled teams around them.
Yeah.
In theory, they're coming in as higher seeds than Primal Instinct Black. So this could be a real spicy playoffs between Primal Instinct, LKG, Levision, maybe even Team Death Knight's Void in that mix. There's some really top tier teams in this league that it's gonna be a lot of fun to see them face off against each other, especially when it gets time to be cross group. Like, is Group A just this super group with Primal Instinct and LK Gaming both doing so well? Is Group B gonna be able to contest? Gonna be some great storylines for us to cook up once it comes time to start playoffs next week.
Yeah. I mean, that's all next week. So, 7 days time, we'll be back here again with some pretty exciting matches with the cream of the crop of the season. Top four of each group. They were already locked in today. PSC, they have guaranteed their spot in playoffs. They will just be going in as that third seed instead of potentially going in as that second seed, which will definitely hurt a little when it comes to their run through the brackets, but they still got to be feeling good about themselves at the end of this split here.
Yeah. Do we have the graphic, Caddy? Can we see who the playoff teams are gonna be? To to check it on out who our 8 playoff participants are going to be. Yeah, I'm putting him on the spot. He'll get here before a
Yeah,
minute or two.
it'll be up in a second.
But this is the best way to run production, by the way. Just ask them on stream to the audience, and then
No, the best.
there we go. See, that's how you get stuff done in this business. Go for yeah, obviously not updated for today's matches. So Primal Instinct Black, they move up to 6-1. Pride Stalker Esports, they fall down to 5-2. Other matchups being played. LK Gaming still has another game. Riz Farmers, of course, on break. Levision playing tonight, as is Iridescent on Neon. So still a little bit to be determined for those who haven't completed their full 7 games. But we know who the playoff teams are going to be. We'll find out where they're going to be seated once tonight's matches are completed. And we're going to be back next week, with a real fun start to what is sure to be a banger playoffs.
Yeah, we'll get the bracket shortly here, I believe. Got to let the rest of the matches finish up tonight and see where.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned to the Risen Discord. Stay tuned to the Risen Google Sheets. Find out who it's going to be. And stay tuned to the Risen Divine League when we're back next week with whatever our featured matchup is going to be still TBD, but it'll be a good one. We'll do our best to make sure of that. But until then, that's going to do it for the Risen Divine League this week. Stay tuned to this Risen channel for other Risen leagues that stream throughout the week, and come back here next Tuesday to find out how our playoffs are going to kick off. But that's going to do it for tonight's stream. We're going to send you over to the Aegis Masters League before too long. But until then, or for right now, from myself, from Gopherino, and from Caddy on production, thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next time.